Hello, hello, my beautiful people. We are back to our body, mind, and soul connection circle network. Every other Sunday we are here, so I'm super excited to be back here, and we have beautiful ladies is joining us, so we can shine a beautiful light on them. And we're gonna hear all about who they are, what they're doing, what are their gifts soon. But before that, I want to say hello to my beautiful co-hosts, Michelle and Lorna. Hello, ladies. Hello, hello.
Hello.
It's always a
Good
delight and a
good
pleasure
morning.
to have you and to be with you here. And for those that are watching us live or replay, please let us know where you're tuning from, or who you are. Send us a message and connect with each one of the beautiful speakers we have today. So it's super excited. We're gonna do a quick round, the first circle, then I will pass it on to Lorna to take us into the deeper diver into who we are. The first one, we're gonna say our names, the title, and where you tuning from. So we're gonna start with Michelle Steiner.
Yes. Hello, my name is Michelle Steiner. I am a writer, a speaker, a photographer, and a parent educator, and I am coming in from Butler, Pennsylvania.
Awesome.
Pennsylvania.
Yes. Where the beautiful flowers are always blooming.
Yes. At least for now.
At least for now.
Yes.
Amazing. And let's go to Calgary to Sarah, because I know where she's from.
Well, hi everyone. It's so nice to be here. Thank you for inviting me, Lorna. Well, my name is Saras Naidu and I live in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. And I am a quantum holistic guide, a spiritual medium, and a transformational coach.
Awesome, awesome. And let's go to my co-host, Lorna.
Hello to everybody from here in beautiful British Columbia on the west side of Canada. My name is Lorna Gale, and I'm a sex and spirit alchemist of the feminine-led life and a story unweaver.
Beautiful. And the other Michelle, my co-host, Michelle Bashar.
Hey, hi guys, it's Michelle Beauchard. I call myself the natural entrepreneur and I help people craft their online offers and their tech to support it. So I love being here as a co-host and excited to see you guys today.
Amazing. And I am Adriana Di Marvel. Truly yours, Adriana Di Marvel. I am a transformational speaker and a confidence coach. And I am tuning from Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. Amazing. So now we know who we are, where we're tuning from, and we're going to pass it on to Lorna, what she's going to take on. Lorna?
All right. Again, welcome, Michelle and Sarah. So glad that you are both here with us. One of the things that we love to do as we go around in our circle today is give you the opportunity to respond to some questions. And Michelle has put those into our chat, and they are speaking to who you are and the gifts that you bring. And we're not talking about a freebie gift. We're talking about the gift of you, the gift that you bring to the world simply by being who you are. And so what are your gifts? Who do you serve and how? So it might be one-on-ones, might be group, might be retreats, whatever that is for you. And why? Now you can do those in whatever order you want to, but we would love to hear you share in that. We're going to have a 5-minute time for you to just open up and share. And one of the ways we love to create a really, not just here we are pictures on the Zoom and we're going to go from one to the other, or, and here's your virtual business card. We're saying we call it a connection circle for that very reason, to be able to connect. So the way that we're going to do this is the first person to share will go ahead and share. The second person will then pick up a thread of something that they have heard, something that resonates, something that they, oh yeah, I get it, or something familiar in connection, whatever. Take that and comment on it to make that connection, and then use the duration of your 5 minutes to go ahead and speak to your gifts, who you serve and why, or who you serve and how, and your why. And then again, the person who speaks after you will pick up a thread from something you shared. When we get around to the end of the circle, the first person who shared will then pick up a thread, something that was shared by the last person, and that's how we weave our circle together that way. All right, so we look forward to what you're going to be sharing as Michelle and Adriana and I have created this space. It really is that of a connection circle. to be able to recognize that many times we think that we are separate, and sometimes it can be an isolating thing doing our work together and trying to be all the many hats, wearing the many hats that we do as entrepreneurs. And so we want to be able to have this as a space in this connection circle, even as we're doing this, that not only are we connecting with the people here in our circle, also the people who are watching live or by replay, and an opportunity to connect providers and those people who are seeking the services that you are looking for. It may be also a collaboration. So when we talk about a connection circle, it's on multiple levels. And one of the things that we find as well is that each time we share, it's almost, and we welcome you to come back again, because number one, we each shift and change. And each time we come to the circle, there's a new group of people to connect with, and it may be somebody you end up collaborating with, somebody becomes your best friend, whatever it is. Again, multiple levels of connection. We're so glad that you're here. Thank you for who you are. So today I'm feeling, Adriana, if you would please start us off with what are your gifts, who you serve and how, and your why, please.
Thank you so much, Lorna. Oh, I'm gonna start with a little of analogy that someone told me at one point, a little story of, imagine we are as humans. So say I will talk about myself. I am in a jar. I'm inside my own jar. And this jar, it's representing my life, is representing my beliefs, is representing my memories, my experience of who I am as a person, as a human. And then these jars start getting labels. Either I put my own labels, or other people in the situation and the environment and the parents are putting a lot of labels around me. And at one point, I don't know who I am, and I can't see the world really how it is, because all the jar is full of labels. And I only can see the world through those labels. And then at one point, as we all go through this life, as lifing us ups and down, it comes a point when the jar start cracking, or I grow too big and the jar is getting tighter and tighter on me. And that's when it's called a breakthrough. When one point on my life, I woke up one morning and I look at the person in the mirror and I didn't recognize who she is, because all the labels was covering her. And I was angry, I was pissed, I was upset with her, with God, with the labels, with everybody. The whole world I felt like was against me. And that was the first time when I decided to, instead of look at the labels, to put the mirror and look at myself. And that's when I realized that I didn't know who I was. And in that moment, I start breaking the jar as much as I could. But I realized that as much as I try to break my own jar and I try to understand my own labels, some labels that weren't put by me, they were put with the writing outside of the label, so I couldn't see them. The only people could see them is the people outside of me. So I started looking for people to help me so they can tell me what those labels says. And I had the opportunity with certain mentors and people that they didn't just write the labels, but they actually took me out of my own jar and let me look at myself from outside of me through their eyes, through their experiences. And then once I saw, I couldn't be unseen. And then they dropped me back into my jar. But now that, because they dropped me back into my jar, I realized that that's not who I am. And now I'm decided to really broke the whole jar. I don't want to even be in a jar anymore. And that's kind of the story of who I was and how I became to do. And now, as a human, I want to give what was given to me. So what I do now, because I grow up with not having a voice, not have the courage to speak out, to say my own truth, to be true to my own identity, disregard what the labels or that jar said. Now I'm doing this with the people around me. I help them, especially with women in midlife crisis, because that's what a midlife crisis is you waking up and realizing that you don't know who you are and why you're here, and you want to understand that. So I decided to help women, those that are going through midlife crisis, when they are don't want to be stuck into being employee to someone else, when they want to have their own authority to their own lives, and they want to create something in their life. They don't know how, they don't know how to speak it out, but now I am there to help them. So I help them to find their voice, their inner voice, to find their mission, and help them to speak it out, to have confidence, to have a lot of bravery to come outside and speak on themselves in the world. Sorry, one second. I hear the, yeah, sorry. I hear the double echo of someone. And that's how I help women, is to help them to see that confidence is in them, is something that they already have, and help them to get out of their own jar. So now they can create a new jar or no jar, whatever they want to do with their life and their mission. And the way I do it is through speaking on stages, speaking, training, doing workshops, helping not just women, humans. We all are beautiful humans, and we all have a voice and a mission. And also I'm actually going to start group coaching soon, very soon in October, and I'm super excited for that. And my why is part of that mission, because I know each one of us, we have a gift, a beautiful mission and a gift. God, universe, whatever you wanted to call it, they put this seed inside of us, because we are here to serve through our messes, that we make them in masteries. So that's a little about me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Adriana. And I love that visual of the jar, in it and then out and come back, that perspective. So thank you so much for sharing that. Michelle Beauchard, I'm feeling to have you go next, please.
Wow. Okay. Well, Adriana, when you said women going through identity crisis in midlife, I really related to that, because I've had kind of a Forrest Gump journey myself. And right now I'm in a really big transition, and it's doubling down on my purpose. I think one of my whys here is maybe I'll start with who I am. So I'm a biologist by formal training. And in the environmental sector, I work with salmon and wetlands and watershed health. And I'm also a mom to a guy who's nonverbal and self-injurious on the autism spectrum. And so, but what I do is I help people with tech. Well, what does being a biologist or an autism mom have anything to do with tech? The journey that my son's conditions have brought our family through led me to a point of caregiver burnout. And as I organized his care with all the appointments, and I had a team of 8 people supporting him, and then also supported other families, I quickly realized, over time I realized that that burnout comes from simply in special needs parenting, not having the rest and relaxation that you need on a regular basis, because frankly it's expensive. And it's hard to find people who can actually do the work in a qualified way. You can't just hire the babysitter next door. So as I worked with all of these families, and I saw the parents struggling to pay, and I was trying to create good living wages for the workers and support for the families, and the kids loved it, and the parents loved it, and the workers were happy. It wasn't balancing financially, though, for the company. And I thought, well, this is an essential service for people. It's not just something like this. This is something that prevents mental health deterioration. It's a financial issue. It's physical health, and also and your ability to work and be employed. So I was like, how can we make it so that I bring extra income in and maybe help subsidize the respite for the parents? And so I went on a mama bear hunt for all of the things related to, how we could earn extra income. And yeah, did all the things and landed on digital marketing and tech. And as I did more and more, I learned all sorts of things on how to help people craft their online offer, and then eventually how to build all of the pieces and the tools that are most efficient for how to support their online businesses. And the reason why I went that way was because, and it started to work. And so now I help people generate their online businesses, and the funding, pardon me, the revenues are going to go support a respite care for families who need respite. So that's sort of my story and my why. Hi, Deborah, nice to see you. We're just doing our rounds of introduction. So but my biologist streak never really went away. And I feel that business needs to reflect nature more. I feel like we live in a corporate monoculture, and the business, the individual businesses that each of you do online is like rediversifying the biosphere that is business. And it's really important to have diversity, and you each have unique gifts and qualities. And I really, really enjoy helping people think about their online offer structure, what their low, mid, high ticket is, what they need to support those things, how to structure their website and their sales funnels and their automations and all of the tech geek stuff that comes from being a science geek. And and so that's what I do here and elsewhere. And I just really enjoy sharing all with you. So thanks for having me say something there, Lorna, and I guess that'll be it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing, and love the way you picked up from what Adriana had mentioned and certainly tied it in. Deborah, welcome. So glad that you're here with us. We are in our journey of we are in our round 2. And so we're just going to pause for a moment and take you back into round 1. And in the comments, you'll see that in round 1, it's an opportunity for you to say your name, your title, and where you are located in the world. So just in 10-15 seconds, just to share that. And then we'll come back around to you in round 2 as well, and give you opportunity to share more comprehensively what it is that you do. And I'll introduce you when it comes time that. So Deborah, if you would take a moment, again, your name, your title, and where you're located in the world, please.
Okay, my name is Deborah Marcia Rubin. I'm a Grand Poobah, and I'm in Victoria, BC.
Okay, excellent. Thank you so much. So glad you're here. All right. And Deborah, as you will see in the comments as well, what we're doing is our round 2. And in that, have opportunity to share about the gifts that you are, not your freebies. We're not talking about that. We're talking about the gift that you are, the gifts that you bring to the world by your experience, your expertise, simply by being who you are, and then who you serve and how, and your why, and mix those up in however you want. So that's the template, if you will, the framework with which we are sharing. Michelle Steiner, if you would please go ahead and share with us in response to those questions, please.
Sure, I'd be happy to. I think really picked up a lot of what Michelle was saying.
Michelle, we're looking forward to hearing. Somehow your sound is a little bit muted. I'm not sure if maybe on the audio settings.
Let's see here. Can you hear me a little more now?
It's quite muted. It was more clear at the beginning of the call. I'm wondering if maybe your audio settings, something switched there. So if you go to the audio, the mic and the audio settings, and just check and see what your output is, see if that's, check to see if it's maybe at about 3/4 or so.
Yeah, it's very echoing.
And it may be,
Oh, okay, here I found, yeah.
you got it?
Yeah, we can hear you better.
You can hear better now? Okay.
That's
Is that better?
Yeah, like that is
Okay.
good.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Yes, well, I definitely could do a lot with understand what Michelle was talking about. Definitely, you know,
Deborah, or Michelle, somehow it went quiet again. So I'm not sure if maybe just a little bit closer. I'm not sure what you
okay,
did differently.
let me see if that would help. Okay, does that work?
That's great. Yes.
Okay, thank you. I'll keep it right there.
Okay, good. Because we do want to hear what you're sharing. So thank you.
Sure. I definitely can relate a lot to what Michelle was saying before about the adult services, because oftentimes with people with disabilities, there's not a lot of services that are available, or even with kids. So I think that that's just so important that they have a lot of those services that are available for people that have disabilities, because it's so very important. One of the things my gifts are is I am a writer, I'm a speaker, I'm a photographer, and I'm a parent educator as well. I work with students with disabilities and in the classroom. This year I work with 7th graders, and some of them I have a learning disability myself. So I work with a lot of other students that have disabilities. And I get that opportunity to be able to understand what a lot of them are going through. Not every single one of them, but a lot of them. I'll hear it's like a recording of myself at the age. I think my disability, don't feel like I'm smart, and I get to be that person to tell them that they are smart, and it's not a bad thing to have a disability. And I also get to show them how to advocate. Another part that I get to do with my gifts is with photography. I am writing. I'm not able to drive because of my disability. So when I don't have a ride somewhere, I get that chance to literally stop and smell the roses and take pictures of flowers. And people tell me, oh, you bring out the details in a flower that I would miss. And I get that opportunity to notice that. And rather than being sad that I don't have a ride, there were so many beautiful things that I would miss with them. I also love writing. It's always been a form of expression and healing for me. And it's always been my world. And I finally got enough courage out of the advice of my writing group to start writing about having a disability. I can remember the first time I did that, I got published. My husband and I moved into our home, and I also have to move to Canada. And I'm so frustrated. It's a call on the mighty of what is a seemingly easy task for others, but it's really hard with a disability. And I decided I'm going to write about this. They had such a great response, and that encouraged me to write other articles and to be able to start my own blog called Michelle's Mission, where I get to combine everything I love. I get to combine my writing, where I do a lot of nature analogies and metaphors, and I get to also put things such as my flowers that I take, and I have a small online store where people can purchase prints. But I also try to just capture some of those flowers that I see on my walks. And sometimes I'll post them with my articles, and I might talk about the process of my accepting my disability as like a flower that is or I might talk about how I transformed with having a disability. And I try to really make that connection between nature and with just maybe explaining that to other people. And the mission statement of Michelle's mission is to encourage, empower, and educate people with and without disabilities.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Michelle, do you work with individuals? Like, is it groups? Like, I know you talk about working in the school. What other ways do you work with people?
I sometimes work with people with just being able to share my story on podcast. Sometimes I get that opportunity to be able to write with people, write as well. That's always a wonderful thing. I know I took a solo trip to a Down syndrome convention a few years ago, and I wrote about my first solo trip, what's going on the airplane with that. I also get to collaborate with other individuals that have disabilities in different speaking groups and different activities with doing advocacy work. So I get that opportunity as well.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing with us. It's really beautiful. Okay. Saris, we're going to invite you to go ahead and pick up a thread of something you heard from Michelle Steiner and weave that into and then go ahead and introduce yourself, please, and share in response to those questions. Thank you.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Michelle. I couldn't hear everything you said very clearly. I picked up writing and I picked up school when Lorna mentioned it, so I'm going to go with that. I'm a retired high school teacher, and I took early retirement because when my husband retired, the day he retired, right after that, he was diagnosed with cancer, with kidney cancer. And like Michelle, I became a caregiver, and my husband was given 4 months to live. It's a good story, though. And he thrived for 9 years, I'll tell you right now. So, and then I'll weave back. And like Adriana, that's when my glass cracked open. That's when my heart opened up, because I remember telling Jeff, uh, as long as you can breathe, you can be helped. And the 4 months led to 9 years. And how? You may ask, because 2 years after Jeff, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. So here's the two of us going through this journey. And in the meantime, I did everything I can to study nutrition and alternative ways of healing and went through that whole journey. But the thing is, we did everything right. We exercised, we ate well, I cooked my own food, I grew my own food. In spite of that, we both ended up with cancer. And so what I want to tell people out there is it's not just about the food you eat and the exercise you do. It's so much more than that, right? And what I found was you have to balance the mind, body, and spirit. It's all got to be balanced. If it's not, and something is lacking, then that's going to keep nagging at you until you fix it. And for me, what was lagging was the spiritual part. I was not working on that. So I went back and I started working on that part, and helped both of us through this journey of healing. And started meditating. I remember I became a Reiki master. I became a hypnotherapist. I was into shamanism, and now I'm a spiritual medium in practice. So all these things are coming one after the other, just because it's the right direction to go. I'm not looking for anything. It's just coming to me. And it's such a beautiful transformation journey, you know. So when that glass opened, Adriana, I was set free. And at the beginning, I didn't know what to do with myself. I had all this freedom. Now what do I do? So then I started finding ways. I looked for a cancer coach for myself, couldn't find one. And through my meditations, I got the message that I had to be that coach so that I could help others through that journey. And that's when I took early retirement from my teaching and worked full on with this kind of work, and just loving every minute of it. My niche changed a little bit over time, and now I work mainly with cancer women survivors that are finished all their treatments, and then they go home and say, well, now what? You're so busy, like with your medical team, and you're doing all this stuff because it happened to me. Now what do I do? And then the fear of reoccurrence keeps nagging at you. So I had to do something about that. So then I took, coaching courses and became a certified coach and did all that good stuff. And I just absolutely love what I'm doing now, where I help women and I do one-on-one and group. I haven't really started with the group coaching yet, but I've done lots of master classes and, you know, uh, I'm working on different courses now on a group program. And so that's going to take a little while. But it's in the works. But with the women that I've worked with, even though I created a 6-month program, some of them need 1 month, some of them need 3 months, some of them need 6 months, some of them need a year. So I've worked with all kinds of, not just women, I've worked with men as well. And how did I get into this? Well, when we were going through our journey, people were coming to us and asking us what we were doing. I mean, look at Jeff. He was given 4 months to live. He's thriving, not just surviving. We traveled the world. We did so many things together after that. And they want to know what we did. So we'd invite them over for tea, for chai, and we'd talk to them and help them. And Jeff would talk to them too about the things that we did. And this went on for a long time. So eventually, um, I was told, well, this is your job. You need to be doing this so you can really help people, through this journey. So that's how all this started. And here I am, and just loving working with people, especially women. But I started a group, Quantum Healing Circle for Women, and it's growing. But there's quite a few men in there as well. So
Mhm.
yeah, men are welcome as well.
Wonderful. Thank you so much,
Thank
Sarah.
you.
Yeah, this is great. Thank you. And I was going to say to make sure that you did mention about your group that's based on Facebook, and it is growing. It's a place where people can connect and to be supported, a beautiful space. So thank you so much for sharing. So glad that you're here. Deborah, if you would please go ahead now and pick up a thread of something that Sarah's mentioned and connect that to your own experience, something that resonates with you, respond to that, and then please go ahead and answer in response to the questions that we put there for you. Thank
what's
you.
the question? Oops.
Well, those will be the ones where you get to say the gifts that you are. What gifts do you bring to the world by being you? Who and how? Who do you serve and how? And why do you do what you do?
Okay, that's a big question. And Sarah, she said so many things, I don't even know what to pick. So maybe I'll ride on the allowing the universe to speak through me. I've been doing that for, well, I guess I came to the point after so much change that I just became very, very comfortable with trusting that whatever was coming up, no matter what it was perfect, and not to second guess it. So it took me, my voice, my higher self, took me on many journeys across Canada and into the US and living in different places. And to the chagrin of my friends, would say, again, you're leaving? You're leaving me? But it just felt right. And because I would just go with the voice and honor the voice, so now I'm going to be writing a book about it. The Dharma is Calling. And I've been sort of working on this book for a long time, maybe 10 years. So I got lots of stories, but recently, where it's taken me, and Lauren Gale knows about this one, but I'm writing another book prior to that, which I had also started many years ago. And just through a number of coincidences, which aren't coincidences, that's why I'm writing the book, because somebody spurred me into offering a free giveaway, which has turned into a book. And the book is called Graceful Transitions, Sun Salutations for Midlife and Beyond. And at one point, I was going to focus on menopause. Something wasn't quite feeling quite right. So I've opened it up to be more about midlife, because then it kind of opens up to a lot more to be able to discuss in there, and not just the menopause aspect. And I'm really about, I don't want to say teaching, instructing, guiding mostly women into connecting with themselves and listening inward and feeling their body, and through the body being able to connect with their higher self. And listening, the feeling, the being, I think is my raison d'etre. And what's interesting right now is that lately I have been called to just not do too much, not promote, not necessarily do anything. That's going to come, but it just feels like silence is where I'm supposed to be right now. I'm still writing and doing, but there's another component, and I feel that it's a different level of being that I'm being asked to connect with. And what I got this morning was, even though I'm meditating, I find that those thoughts, which are very light and delicate, are like tapping into the void and saying, no, but I want some attention. I want some attention. I want some attention. They're very delicate, but there's this void that's there that it's like I'm being pulled from the void all the time. And it's like, I don't want to say a swear word. Stopping my thoughts. It's like, just leave me alone. I just want to go in here. So I'm a juxtaposition. Right now I'm in this place. I know that I'm also being and I'm also doing. So it's that unification of both aspects of myself that is just asking to be explored a little bit more. And I've been meditating for 35 years or something like that. And I'm a teacher of transcendental meditation, which I love. And that's one of my foundations, my major foundation, along with yoga. I've been a teacher of yoga for 50 years. So I've been doing yoga like all my life. And so that's where my gift is. That's what my calling is to bring people into their body so that they can listen to their body, allow, especially us who are going through, we're in this next stage, is how can we do this gracefully? Because we've got a lot of work to do. All our wisdom needs to come out. And I love what everybody's saying. I've only heard Sarah and Michelle. But yeah, so that's me. Basically, that's me. And my book should be out me soon.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Deborah.
Yeah.
And that's what our timer sounds like. Deborah, if you would share, when you work with people, and I know that you said you're quiet right now, do you work one-on-one, in group? Do you do retreats? How does it work? How do people have opportunity to work with you?
Well, right now at this time, I'm teaching online yoga classes. Somebody who's got a moderate level of fitness, but I also teach breath classes. I'm a certified Buteyko practitioner. I've also been doing breathing for over so many years, but I know that's going to change. So right now I'm online and they can reach me at my website.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that. And each of you will be absolutely invited and encouraged to put your links down below to your Facebook groups, to your books, to your offerings, whatever it is, your websites. Put all of those down below so that people who are listening live or by replay have opportunity to connect with you, know how to follow you, connect with you, and see what you're up to. So thank you for that.
Okie dokie.
I will go ahead and I'm going to pick up the thread that Deborah shared in terms of, there were so many as well. The one that comes right now is there's two different things, the aspect of that midlife part of that shift, and then also the aspect of how it's sort of just quiet is start to do something. It's just kind of like, no, just be still, that there's something shifting at a different level. And I very much feel both of those. Certainly with my own midlife, that was when I know my spiritual journey had been happening for, I don't know, 10 years before that. And then this spirit or this sexual midlife, what I call my midlife sexual awakening, it was not only about the sexuality, but hundreds and hundreds of poems just started to come. I'd get this little bit of a spidey senses, a little bit of a thing, and I just get my BlackBerry, and I know that dates me, but I just get my BlackBerry and type, and then I would go back and I'd see what came through. And as I like to say, is that a lot of the poems were, hot and steamy. Some of them were very tender and intimate. The majority of them spoke to the oneness of life, that aspect that we have judged or seen as separate, but just really come back into the wholeness. And as 16 years ago, I had in this midlife sexual awakening, I'd gone from being a mom, a stay-at-home mom, to teaching in the school system and then teaching energy work. And then it became a natural thing to take my love and gift of teaching into the sexual erotic realm of things. So I became a somatic sexologist, teaching a professional training, a global training. And then through that, creating opportunities for people to reconnect to their sexuality. And what happened in the process was that it's not just about, oh, here's my sexual journey that's happening and I'm getting supported people, but it was also bring the sexual and the spiritual together into my work. And I love stories. So as a long time, since childhood, being a very avid reader and then also writing, I loved when I taught school, I got to teach children how to write stories. And there's one of the stories that I think maybe majority of us are probably familiar with, is that of the Hansel and Gretel story, their journey. They are, living in the home, and there's two different versions. One is as they leave home, Hansel drops these bread crumbs, and when they turn around to come back home, they can't find their way home because the birds have eaten the breadcrumbs. The version that I use and refer to is that of as they leave home, they drop the pebbles and they go out on their ventures, and when it's time to come back home, they just follow the pebbles. And I use this story on two different levels. One of us is this wholeness of who we are, home. We are home. And as we leave from a human perspective, it's these different situations, traumas, people, scenarios that happen along the way to start to shut us down, to disconnect us from our wholeness, from our bodies, from that innate connection to an in-tuneness, and the various traumas. And they play, like in the story, they play their role of having this disconnection. And at some point, there's this midlife awakening, or some point where there's this time of, it's time to, something's different. I need to look at things. And there becomes the journey back. And each of those pebbles become those places of maybe trauma, or the situations where somebody kept saying there was something that reoccurred and reinforced over and over along the way, to find their way back home into their, who they are as the character, come back into their remembrance of who they are. And another level I look at it as home is our spiritual beingness, that who we are, and how do we, in these pebbles, again, through the human experience, forget who we are. And in this journey of believing, living in the human experience, and there becomes this journey back home, again, this awakening or this midlife opening that starts to happen to bring us back into a remembrance of the wholeness of who we are. And so my work has gone from this place of not only from a place of helping people in their healing, and I look at healing as not something's broken, how do we put it back together, but healing meaning that we are whole, we have been whole all the time, and it becomes more a matter of unveiling that remembering of that wholeness has been here all along. And so I love doing that, and I support people by helping to unweave their stories and appreciating sometimes that place of sinking into victimhood and feeling all of that separation. How do we look at things through the lens of appreciating the role that everyone and everything that is played in helping us to feel and live as if we were separate from our beingness as a human, as well as in that spiritual essence. And I do that through one-on-ones. I do that through a group program that's coming up. I do have a Facebook group called Reclaiming Eden. I work primarily with women because, as I see it, is women represent the feminine, which is spirit, and masculine represents the masculine and the form. And so as women, as the feminine in form of women, but also the feminine rises in that in that initiating form, it's like spirit that has initiated this human experience. So I'm supporting people and coming back into their wholeness in various ways. So, so Adriana, as the first person to share, if you would please go ahead and pick up a thread that I have shared that resonated with you. And I know there were several, and even as I was speaking, I was tapping back into some of the things that you had shared, and certainly the things that we have each shared, the commonalities. If you will do that, and then I know Michelle will go ahead, our Michelle Beauchard will go ahead and weave into our third part of our call together.
Yes, I'm definitely gonna go pick up the pebbles. I will pick up the pebbles because they were there for us for a reason. And for me, what resonated with me is actually, I even today, I love pick up really like physically go pick pebbles, really stones. Some stones, and sometimes I come home with a pocket full of little stones, little pebbles, and then sometimes my partner asks me, "It's like, what you gonna do with all of this?" And then one day I take all of them I put them on my cabinet and I take them back to nature. And then slowly, slowly I keep. So that was a good visual and a reminder of that. We're picking up of these pebbles because they have their own stories. They have something that they can teach us. And another thing that I love that what you share is from Deborah and Lorna is that listening, that being, that femininity of just being and the masculine of doing, and to integrate them, because I grow up being very masculine, very doing everything. And now, as Deborah mentioned, and I connected so much with what she said, I feel now of like learn to just be and just move and relax and feel it, and not always doing, and learning how to. And I that's one thing I know I can learn more from Lorna, is to weave these two things together, the masculine and the feminine, the doing and the being together, because they are part of who we are today. So thank you so much. Michelle.
Amazing. I love the form and function. It reminds me a lot of nature, actually, you know, the form and then the ecological function of the services that it provides and how it, the wheel of life goes. So awesome. Well, we have had a beautiful session here today. And so we're going to do a couple of things. One thing is I want you each to think of a word that describes how you felt about the session today. And we'll go around and share the word, and any final thoughts you wanted to share, we'll keep it to maybe you know, less than a minute each, because I'm conscious of the time and on time. And then we'll close up just by yeah, probably I can even say it now, like we're very excited about our upcoming MicroSummit on Cancer. That's I think on October 19th. And we've got each of you after this connection circle, I forgot I should have said this first, connection circle participants are welcome to do a one-on-one interview as well. And so you should get an email after this to, you know, further deep dive into what you do to be able to support the folks who are looking for you in this group. One of the things that Adriana and Lorna and I are trying to accomplish is to connect you with your prospective clients and the clients who need you with the services that you provide. So that was one of our functions here in our little ecosystem. So yeah, watch for that one-to-one interview. And then we have our as an online service provider and business person, we have our wellness provider circle, our business provider business circle that we're developing to support you in your business efforts and to support our you know, that's sort of like for the doctors, and for the patients we have the Wellness Connection portal, where we have our providers come in and answer the questions of the people who need healthcare questions answered. So all sorts of goodies here. We'll check it out, but hope you guys will be able to join us for your one-to-one sessions and maybe watch the upcoming MicroSummit. So meanwhile, I've been chatting. Hopefully you've been thinking up your words for today. I am going to actually start with, and we'll go reverse and say, Adriana, what is your word for today?
Yes, I already have it. Lorna said the word, the magic. I asked, and then Lorna said, and I'm like, that there is it. Remembrance.
Hmm.
Yes, because I think it's such a powerful that I think we all are in one way remember who we are. We're coming back to our essence, and it's not about adding more things, which are beautiful. Because I'm a hungry little thing that want to learn all the time and study all the time, but also is important to not add so much and just let release. So then
Yeah.
whatever needs to come through us. So remembrance is my word. And I'm always grateful for this kind of connection circles we have every single time. Connecting with new people, with people who's been here before, and hear every single person's story. That I take something from each person was said, and I take it with me, and it inspire me to continue on my own journey. And also, sometimes I use your story in a way or another, and I use it as an analogy or as an inspirational for other people when I've served them. So thank you so much for each one of you.
Awesome. Okay, and so yeah, if you can share your word and also share maybe also how you felt about today, like what you liked about the session too. Lorna, maybe I'll get you to go next because you were before.
Sure. The word wholeness comes. And as I think about this experience today, that each person that shared, I could connect that piece when we talk about the fractals, when we talk about the wholeness of who we are represented in each experience that was shared today, and just the beautiful weaving together. So it was so good to have you each here. Thank you.
Awesome. Saras, what was your word and how did you feel about the session today?
My word is connection. And I love this connection circle. It connects us all. And we are not meant to be by ourselves and work out by ourselves and struggle. So for me, connection is key. That's my mantra. Connection is key. And I love the connection. I feel, because I work with energy, I feel the energy of everyone, and I absolutely love it. So thank you, everyone.
Aw, we're so glad to have you here. Deborah, I'm going to go to you next. What's your word and how did you feel about the session?
Well, I'm sitting here and going, what is my word? Well, my heart is buzzing. So my word is heart.
Ah.
And which heart is so full that I think everybody here is representative of that everybody's doing what they love. And because they're doing what they love, it's not only helping others and themselves, but they're just going to bring, we're all going to bring more and more and more to us because we're in our heart. Yeah.
Amazing. Beautiful. Thank you so much for being here today. Michelle, I'm going to turn to you and ask you for your word and how you felt about the session. I think you're still on mute. There you go.
My word would be inspiration, because I just think it was so inspiring to hear everybody's experience, getting some difficult circumstances and how that worked out, and just that encouragement to be able to go, and that really just really inspired me.
Aw, thanks so much, Michelle, and thank you for all you do and support. Love having you here, and to you as well, Saras and Deborah, for being resources inside of this community. I'm going to say my word is actually natural today, because it was just so natural to see all you all came out naturally. It was a natural connection, and yeah, I just think you're all very naturally beautiful. So thank you so much for being here today. I'm going to turn it back over to Adriana to close us out. And yeah, thanks for being on Connection Circle with us.
Thank you, thank you, thank you so much, everyone, for being here, for watching this. If you watch this live or replay, please connect with each one of the beautiful ladies we had today. We'll ask our ladies, Michelle, Saras, and Deborah, to in the comments of this video, please put your information or how people can connect with you. And we were excited to see each one of you on an interview afterwards. We're super, super excited to see that. And also, if you are watching this and you new in the group, welcome. And we'd love to have you in our connection circle to share your gifts and who you help and how, what's your big why. And also, if you are maybe came to one of these circles in the previous, in a while ago, let's just come again. We'd love to have you again. As Deborah said, we are in a constant moving and evolving. So come with what is evolving out of you now in this moment. We'd love to have you again. And we are super, super grateful. Every single Sunday that we are here and connecting with each one of these people, I really enjoyed it. Like I said, the stories, the things that I take for myself, and it feeds my own heart or my own soul. So I'm always grateful for this moment. So thank you so much, everyone, for watching. We will see you next time. Take care of you, and bye bye.
You guys are great.